So, one of the requests I got was my Sawdust Toilet. We don't have a septic back here. My father-in-law's place, which isn't that far, does. But to build one is expensive. It's about $6,000. And we need the well. There's another $1,000 or so to have a well. The water table isn't too far down. They only have to dig 50 or 60 feet. But to put all that in, you round everything up to $10,000 by the time you're done putting indoor plumbing and all the stuff that's required in order to have working plumbing. So instead, I was looking at commercial units, and they're expensive. They're around $1,000, $1,500, and I decided that I didn't want to spend that. I looked at building a large composter. There's some plans out there for them, and for every positive review of one of those, I found negative reviews. So I decided to go with a very simple Sawdust Toilet. We get our sawdust. Here's a thing right here from Amish sawmill down the street. He's got probably 10 feet deep, 50 by 50 area of sawdust, so we have an endless supply. And I fill up 5 or 6 of these and store them underneath the building with the top off so they stay aired out. And when I need more, I go get some more. Inside the toilet, which I built kind of look like a toilet. It's hard to see because there's so much stuff in here. Most of it's going to end up in the barn, but it's in here for now until we clean this out. So it's a combination tool shed / outhouse. Like I said, I don't have a problem with it. Yeah. What else do you want to look at when you're sitting out here? You can leave the door wide open, and you get a nice view of the outside. And it's a nice place as it can be. The toilet itself, just a standard toilet lid, and it's got a little bit of usage in it. Sorry for that. I built the top with a Craig jig to build the box, and I hinged it and then mounted the seat to that, and then inside is just a toilet, just a 5-gallon bucket. Fill it with sawdust on the bottom, like 2-3 inches, and when someone makes a deposit, they're supposed to bury it. My kids are not good at doing that. They frequently don't, so that's why it has use now and not covered. Keep my toilet paper on a scythe over here. That's going to go in the cabin for decorative purposes. I picked it up last year, but it makes a good toilet paper holder. And when we're not here, we put the toilet paper in one of the orange buckets so that the mice don't shred it, because they will. When a bucket is full, let me shut this lid here. So my kids never ever open the lid like that. That's really a job only I do. My wife doesn't do it either. I put a bucket in the top for sawdust. I've never used it. I always keep it in these orange buckets. The idea was that it was right there and convenient. But I've never used it. So when the buckets are full, I take them and put a lid on them. And for a couple months usually, I leave them underneath here. And they just kind of age to a fine putrid state. And I have black tape on the handles for all my waste buckets. Right now I have one that's in use from last hunting season, and I'll have to empty that soon. What we've been doing for emptying them is we'll dig a hole and bury them. What I plan to do is take 3 of the pallets I have and build a composting area above ground and put some straw down. We picked up 5 bales of straw last year and put 1 bale down at the bottom, and then pitchfork. We'll leave a pitchfork out there, one of the lesser quality, older, junky ones. And you dump your contents in, put some straw down, and let nature take over. Usually inside the buckets where they're fermenting like this, I take a scoop of soil so the earthworms and all that do some work. It's not as bad of a job as it sounds to empty everything, but my family, for the most part, lets me take care of that job. It's not something they really want to deal with. But cost-wise, yeah, if I have $50 in the entire setup, that would be a lot. And it gives us a convenient bathroom that's located 15 or 20 feet away from the cabin. For midnight runs, I compromised, and Walmart sells something for boaters called the luggable loo, I think it is, or something like that. And there's a Ziploc bag container that you put inside a small porta potty, and inside the inner bag, there's two bags, there's a chemical, so when deposits are made, the smell isn't bad and it absorbs liquid. And when you're all done filling it up, you wrap the inner bag up to the outer heavier duty bag, and you can then Ziploc that, and we bring it back to the city and toss it in the trash. Like I said, I believe they're for boaters. If you check Walmart or Gander Mountain or any outdoor store that has boating supplies, you'll find them there. And this way here, if it's raining out or it's 2 in the morning, it's hard to explain to your wife that she has to go out here at 2 in the morning to go to the bathroom. It's much easier to have her have an indoor plumbing solution. But in the long run, I do plan on putting a small addition on the cabin and building the bathroom area inside. I'm not sure where I'm going to build it yet. I was contemplating building it on this wall here, and after the stove, but before that window. I might do that, or I might build it on the back off the kitchen. I'm not sure, but I don't think we're going to do that this year anyways. We got so many other projects we have to get done. Guest cabin is higher on my priority list, so maybe next year. It's always seemed to be something on my next year project list. But I had a couple of people who asked questions about it, so I'm going to create this as a standalone video. That way also comes up in the search engine better. If you have any questions about the composting toilet, there's a handbook, the Humanure Handbook, I believe it's called. It's free, it's on the internet. You can get a printed copy, I believe, from Amazon, but I just downloaded the free PDF and read that. We're not exactly in line because right now we're still burying the buckets. We will go to the composting system, which is what they recommend. That's a this year project. It might be a today project if we have time to dig some holes and take the pallets and build it. We'll build the area in a dry, slightly raised area, and the hay should absorb any water, and it should compost down. And at our rate of use, I would assume a pallet-sized composting area would probably last me 5-6 years before it filled up all the way, and maybe longer as it's composting down. It might take even a long time to do. When it's all composted down, I'll probably build a second area right next to it and start using it, and let that first area keep on composting. And then when it's completely composted down to basically mulch, I will spread it in the woods, or maybe around some of my bushes and trees out here. It's supposed to be perfectly fine for any vegetation, things like the hostas and stuff like that. You're not supposed to use it for any vegetables or food for human consumption. But it's an economical solution to people like me who, if we were out here full time, I would have probably invested in a septic and spent the $10,000 or so extra to get everything in. But for a weekend place, this is I could spend $10,000 on 100 other things better. So yeah, that's it. I can't think of anything else to talk about. If you have any questions about it, let me know. I'll try to answer them again from my non-construction worker. My day job is a computer programmer. But I'll answer them from my perspective, and I can probably point you to more details if you're looking for them. If you're asking about code things, you're going to have to talk to your local building department. Probably this won't pass the muster with them. They have solutions that they recommend. They're all commercial. They're all expensive. So I couldn't justify the cost. But like I said, if you have any questions, let me know, and I will do my best to answer them. Thanks for watching.